Dankira Tehwagi matanlachu Dankira ka inya Muluga Denanish Dankira Tehwagi matanlachu Dankira ka inya
Welcome to the Black Open University Show. Rebuilding education from an African place of being.
Dankira Tehwagi matanlachu Dankira ka inya
Welcome to the Black Open University Show. Rebuilding education from an African place of being.
Dankira Tehwagi matanlachu Dankira ka inya
Build deep and complete.
Do you know of the water of life?
What's the big idea? What's the big idea? Original again, start from the heart. Not art, true indeed. I see, I feel. Mathematics, matrix, institutes, patterns. 1, 2, 3, you learn at 3. Classic.
Welcome to the Black Open University Show. Rebuilding education from an African place of being. Welcome to the Black Open University Show. Building education from an African place of being.
Dip down, dip and down, dip and down. We're in there. Dip down, dip and down, dip and down. We're in there. Inside of who you are. Inside of who you are. Time has its own way to be. Gracious behavior is the savior. It seems to be inside of who you are. The sky is like a storybook with sand in your eyes. See the light, come and see sunrise inside of who you are. Dip down, dip and down, dip and down. We're in there. Dip down, dip and down, dip and down. We're in there. I said inside of who you are. Sun dips to the magic of the moon. Perfect magenta. In the center is womanhood inside of who you are. A child resides beside still waters. With spiritual eyes, come and see a sunrise inside of who you are. gracious behavior is the savior. It seems to be inside of who you are. The sky is like a storybook with sand in your eyes. See the light, come see sunrise inside of who you are.
Welcome to the Black Open University show,
On Bless.
rebuilding education from an African place of being.
On Bless Radio.
Welcome, family. Hashima. This is Astamari Bartekun. Welcome to the Black Open University show here on Bless Radio. As we do, Tehwagi Salamta, warrior greeting, Exir Yimasagan Hashima Tehwagi Asab, creator be praised, respect the warrior idea. We give thanks, a special thanks to the mighty Omowale. The Omo has returned, the mighty one has returned to share powerful wisdom as he does. Pan-African heritage. And all the blessed station sound people, DJs and presenters, engineers and management. We give thanks to all ones in the setup of this special vehicle of knowledge, Bless Radio. We give thanks to the community. I see that the community is very engaged with our programs. We're getting a lot of response and feed forward. So we give thanks for all of that. Keep it up. Keep on being well connected and sharing the vibes. Cycle out the shows, promote them, share them, like them. You know the routine. So we give thanks to all ones. This show has to move even swifter than our normal swiftness. It has to move very, very swiftly. We have I think I get into the routine of saying we have a special feature every time, every show. They're always special. But this one here is a special feature. The feature is a review of our Dark and Wild gathering that took place on Saturday. It was a launch party and it was fantastic. We had a great launch party, and I'm so pleased to be able to share with you testimonials from the party. So those are ones who didn't get to reach it. I know many ones gave apologies and many events were going on and so on and this and that. And so you didn't get to enjoy the launching of so many wonderful things. But just to recap, we launched our uLearn Naturally Creative Learning Festival, which starts on March the 6th. And goes to March the 15th. So that is coming up. The launch party was on Saturday. Inside of that program, we'll be launching a high altitude balloon, which is a fantastic thing. And I had a chance to explain the details of this and the background behind all of the projects to those who attended. Big up to all ones who attended the Dark and Wild and got Dark and Wild. You know, we had a wonderful time. And now I'm going to share insight for this. But you know what really touched me for this Dark and Wild? It's a bit personal in the sense of launch. I performed my first puppet show. Yes. Abit and the Point of Origin. The first uLearn Naturally steamed up puppet show. Yeah, it was Very nice. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I've enjoyed such wonderful reflections since doing this thing. It's a long cycle that I have been interested in doing this puppet show. It's so exciting that it seems to have bumped the radio show's normal schedule and normal slots of things that we do. But I will return to the routine. But let me just tell you a bit about this puppet show. So, it's, for a long time I have realised that puppetry is an undervalued art form, especially in conveying learning to children, but adults as well. I go far to find the occasional good puppet show. I will travel for it, and it's hard to find, and I have to say, virtually impossible to find Africans delivering constructive African puppetry. African puppetry, I mean puppetry from an African place of being. And how can that be when ones are the original puppeteers? Anyway, it's coming home. Puppetry's coming home. So, we hosted at the Dark and Wild on Saturday just past the first uLearn Naturally steamed up puppetry show. The story was called Abit and the Point of Origin. And I before this show, like I said, it's a long cycle, years I've been thinking about putting things into puppetry and researching the ways to do this, and even I thought I would do some courses for this. However, it is, I give thanks that I am blessed to have some skills that lend themselves to just diving straight into wonderful puppetry. The business of Dankira Tehwagi African warrior dance, with its drama elements and performance elements, sets one up neatly for this thing. The hand signing that we have in our practice sets one up neatly for this thing. And the warrior idea, yes, the philosophy of the Tehwagi Asab, the warrior idea, sets one up neatly for this thing. So, having been so set up and highly blessed, I prepared and we dived into it with the assistance of the one Hortense in regard to the creation of the physical puppets. I have to say, it started with my youngest daughter and I exploring puppetry, this puppet in a very, very crude form. But the one Hortense, who you will hear how people experience the puppet that she brought to life with her fantastic craft skills. Yeah, she put in a lot of work, so I'm going to have to hail her up and make sure if she's listening to this show, she can't say that she never get acknowledgement for the hours, for the sleepless nights, beloved. You are well appreciated, loved. Yeah, no doubt. So, anyway, it's a simple format of the show today. Normally we go through things in a certain way. I'm gonna breeze through them super fast. Gazette is the part of the show we do for the astronomy. I have been focusing in simply on the moon phase. We're coming in now to the first quarter. This is the first quarter of illumination. It's about 51% illuminated. I hope you're following the cycle. The point of this is to bring your attention to it, for you to think about why the moon is phasing like this, and to come into tune with it. So every week we make sure we cite up the orientation of moon phase. Yeah. So first quarter, 51% illuminated. Tune into the cycle of the moon. Charek-a. Charek-a is moon. Ba'amarenia kwankwa. In the language of Ethiopia. Yes. We're going to move on. The next phase of our show will be the news. Zaina Gize. I've already given you the news. The news is that we had a fantastic Dark and Wild party, a launch party. There's more news than that, of course. Numerous things are going on. In that launching, we launched the beginning of the production for the video, What's the Big Idea? And so we've been in a closer movement. The teams, there's 3 teams coming together around our video production: an animation team, a music production team, and a video production team. And we had our our joint collaboration meeting, which fed in then to the launch party. So that was a launching point for that cycle there, that period. Fantastic. And so be ready. That thing, when it comes, this video and utterance, music, rap, spoken word, new form, it's going to go viral. You need to help it. Forget the corona business. Make this music take to the air. Let everyone receive it. Take it in. What's the big idea? All the classic and big ideas of mathematics in a rap less than 4.5 minutes. Then unpacking that through the Mantis memory matrix. A tool for memorization and fantastic mind mapping. New technology from an African place of being. So we launched a lot. I think you're seeing it now. If you weren't able to attend the launch event, well, you missed out. But don't worry, because there's more to come, and you're going to hear the testimonials. So we're going to move into that. The next phase of the show, we would normally speak to things of the core learning programs. The core learning programs at Abundance Centres, UK Development Trust, the Black Open University. The core programs are the Level Being 9 program for cadets, for young people, children. And this is a program focused around advanced attainment of GCSEs, particularly in the area of the maths, science and related subjects. But our learning is not just the subject named, it's unified knowledge. So those subjects are learnt in the context of a steamed up environment. Science, technology, engineering and math plus the arts. STEM plus the arts. We have the pedagogy class. This is a way of learning about the system of teaching called unified knowledge for the parent, for the teacher. We have the hair structure science course. We have the Dankira Tehwagi course. So these courses are flagship courses in the mode of unified knowledge. They're running at the Chestnut Community Centre. The times are available to you. Check us at abundancecentre.org or contact us on 020-8815-3939 is the office number. 020-8815-3939. Check out the details for the courses, get the prospectus. You can go to blackopenuniversity.eu, blackopenuniversity.eu, and from there you will find the link to the prospectus, a link to the e-learning space. There's a lot of stuff going on. Join in. And then there are other courses. Those are the flagship courses. There are smaller courses, the kind of taster courses that let you pick up an advanced thing in a short time and change the perspective, go deep into a new perspective on a thing. Many courses like this. Check out the e-learning space. So, the weekly feature are testimonials. We have a series of testimonials to play for you. I need to go into it because I'm telling you, it's amazing. The puppetry show is not a long puppetry show. It's quite a short one. I've realized that I have to keep some of these things secret. Even I had in mind that I would tell you the story, but it's not right. I can't tell you the story. The only way you can hear the story of Abit and the point of origin is to come to the next puppet show. So, never mind. I'm not going to tell you the story, but I am going to let you hear from people who heard the story and experienced the puppetry. So, it's like this. We have to do it this way because it's a new form, and the new form needs due respect. Okay, let me roll it straight in. We're going straight in. Please bear with this recording. It's a lengthy one, but all of it's very insightful. We're speaking to some very wonderful people who attended the Dark and Wild gathering. Each one have a whole range of special things that we could talk about differently, but they gracefully agreed to share their thoughts, partly about the puppetry show, but also about the warrior dance that took place. We had some dancing. Oh man, the dancing. Warrior dance. Abit and Goma. The dance of the mantis. Come on now. So, if you don't know what that is, then you're going to hear about it in the testimonials. And surely you will know you need to be in the next Dark and Wild. Or just enroll in the Dankira Tehwagi warrior dance class. African warrior dance. There's nothing like it anywhere else. So, tune in.
Deep and complete. Build deep and complete.
Do you know of the water of life?
What's the big idea? What's the big idea? Originally begin, start from the heart. Not truly deep.
I have to pull that up on Yukata. Let it pass. Just to say that some of these testimonials I did on the phone. I had to phone ones and record it over the phone. And yeah, the phone recording can be a little bit harsh on the tone in terms of the sound audio quality. So please excuse that. If it sounds a bit sharp, don't watch that. Tune into the word sound. I've tried to cushion it for you. But just in case, please bear with us for that one. I'm going to pull it back again to the forward so you can get ready for insights into the world's first uLearn Naturally steamed up puppetry show, Abit and the Point of Origin, in the Dark and Wild gathering at the Chestnut Community Centre, Saturday just passed. You want to book your tickets for the next show, it's going to be completely sold out. So you want to book your tickets in advance. I'm telling you, this show, my reflections, I know I meant to put it back, but my reflections are like, there's so much more to go into the show. But listen to the testimonials for the first one and get with it. It's that simple talk. Get with it.
Build deep and complete.
Do you know of the water of life?
What's the big idea? What's the big idea? Originally begin, start from the heart. Not truly deep. I see, I feel. Mathematics, matrix, institutes, patterns. 1, 2, 3, you learn classic.
Welcome to the Black Open University Show. Rebuilding education from an African place of being. Welcome to the Black Open University Show. Building education from an African place of being.
Welcome, Kemi. Hashima.
Hashima Rasastamari.
Well, Thank you. You've attended our recent Dark and Wild event. Please introduce yourself and share your thoughts. I'm interested in how you found the puppet show, which was on Abit and the Point of Origin, and also how you found the general warrior dance Dankira Tehwagi experience that we had at the Dark and Wild event.
Hashima. My name is Star Kemi. That's how I'm known in the community, Star Kemi. And I did indeed attend the Dark and Wild event on the 29th of February. The puppet show, first of all, that was really the whole concept was very enjoyable. What I noticed was how the children were just thoroughly engaged. In fact, everybody was engaged in the story and the imagery. So we had the visuals and we had the puppet. And I think that the actual story, the thing that I took away from it was the actual definition of what is a point. A point being a place where you put your attention. And that, in other words, that it's not a physical place. And you can use references towards a point, but you can't actually ever reach that point. And those were some of the things that were concepts that were in the story itself. And that was quite deep for me. Particularly because I'm involved in a lot of creative processes at the moment anyway. And I've thought about the whole process of creating something and designing something. And particularly in terms of design, it's in the design stage before you actually create it. And it's in your mind. It's a non-physical place. And so just getting a definition of what is a point, and it being where you put your attention, and realizing that is actually, when we really embrace that definition, we're embracing the metaphysical aspect of reality. It was really powerful. Now, I don't know whether any of the children there would have grasped that, along with some of the other concepts that were embedded in the story, but I thought that was the beauty of it, because the children were just thoroughly engaged with the story, the imagery, the visuals, the puppet, and the story itself was interesting. But underlying that story, there were very strong principles and even deep philosophical reasonings that they can come to you later on, like epiphanies, and you wouldn't even have realized that it's in there. And just the enjoyment, you grasp the children's interest, and you're actually introducing to them some basic mathematical principles and also some very deep philosophical ideas. So I enjoyed it on every level. I would have loved to have maths lessons like that, definitely. There you are. It was just nice to see it.
Give thanks.
Thanks very much.
Give thanks. Yeah, well, thank you for sharing that. You've given a very thorough sharing of your thoughts on it, and we welcome that. I mean, as I mentioned at the event, that was the first public puppet show that I've done. But I've been thinking about this for a long time, because I feel that puppetry can convey much. And obviously, because you are one that has completed our pedagogy learning, the Unified Knowledge Foundation pedagogy course. So you know that story is one of our 10 principal processes and protocols. So adding this to the repertoire and then developing forms for families to use, puppetry to use this, that's where it's going. And so I welcome your just sharing that you're giving now. My intention is to develop the form with resources, to secure resources to help us develop this form and this practice for the organization, for our cooperatives. Thank you for that. Okay, so there was the second matter being the warrior dance. So if you don't mind, please reintroduce yourself and just flow into that one as well. Your thoughts on the warrior dance, Dankira Tehwagi experience at the recent Dark and Wild event.
Hashima, I am Star Kemi. I recently attended the Dark and Wild event that was on the 29th of February. And amongst some of the things that we covered, we got to some Dankira Tehwagi dance. And actually, this is not the first Dark and Wild gathering I've attended, but it is my favourite part. There are lots of stuff in there. There's the drumming, there was the storytelling, sometimes presentations, but that's my favourite part. And the music is varies, whatever music we have, but it's actually doing the martial art that is great. And yesterday what we did was we did Abit form, the praying mantis, and moving in a particular way, so making observations on how the precision of the movement. It's about precision movements and measuring and making judgments. And earlier on, we'd heard the story. We'd see a video of a praying mantis that was molting, but also moving. So it's shedding its skin, but also moving, the kind of movement. So we'd observed that in the puppetry and in the video, and then we actually then went on to apply those principles in our movements as far as the warrior dance went. So it's a really good workout. I found myself breathing quite heavily very quickly, so it told me that I haven't really pushed my cardiovascular system for a long time. So that was good. Got a bit hot, a bit sweaty, but it's really enjoyable. It's just a different way of interacting and perceiving other people in the space, interacting in the space in a particular way after a particular form of, let's say, animal movement. So, yeah, it's great. That's one of my best, just the physical nature of it. It's very, very good. I recommend it.
Give thanks. Yeah, well, I especially enjoyed the setup for this, because obviously Abit is one of our two main characters. Abit and Wing Chun in the Dankira Tehwagi warrior dance practice are the two main characters, and there are different ways to introduce performing the dances of these characters. But as you've just explained and outlined, to have a story told, a puppetry story told, in which there was a lot of video background about Abit and showing its movement, to do all of that. And I also felt, as much as I was involved in expressing the puppetry, there's still quite a way to go in the full expression of that. But when you come to then full embodied movement as a Tehwagi, it's easier for me. I said that. And so I enjoyed being able to take the translation to that place where everyone can see it in a much crystal clearer form. And not only see it, but actually do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the point. And not only do it, but do it together in a harmony. Where, as you said, it's amazing what you can do in a space, in a social gathering. And it shows, for me, it shows the huge gap in the range of things that we can do as we gather to uplift community socially, to have an uplifting social gathering. There's a much broader range of things that can be done. And most people, obviously, they don't know. They just don't know this thing because it seems to be a specific cultural art. But in actual reality, if one were to place it alongside or in parallel to how another culture might relate to yoga as a communal breathing exercise, a social exercise, it's completely reasonable and the best things to be doing, to gather and do. So yeah, well done, Hashima, to you. And
Hashim,
yeah, thank you for sharing your thoughts on the Dankira Tehwagi. Yeah,
no problem.
give thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Good night then, Ratastamar.
Good night, Hashima.
Hashima, thank you. Bye-bye.
Build deep and complete. Welcome to the Black Open University show
on Bless Radio.
So, my name's Yasmin, and I was at the Dark and Wild Gathering. We done a puppet show. What I liked about the puppet show was the puppet Abit, which is the praying mantis. The way it moved its arms and legs, it was like really realistic, and that was one thing that was nice about the puppet show. Also, the detail into how the people who made the puppets, it was very good. I liked the face and how they done the neck, and yeah, that's about it. Also in the Dark and Wild, there was some dance, Dankira Tehwagi.
Before we get to the dance, how did you find the story?
Oh, I like the story about when Abit was playing with the points, and we took some ideas from a couple of people. And one of the ideas, which was my one, is I thought that the points were like guiding them. So.
Oh, sorry, let me explain. So you mean when you say we took some ideas, that's when I asked everyone what they thought a point was.
And I thought that a point was like something you could use to guide.
That's right. So before the show, I asked everyone that question, what is a point? Because the word point comes up a lot in the story. Yes. What else did you find interesting? What did you like about the story?
The story, I liked the way the story was flowing nicely, and the way you told it. It was very nice. Like when Winchy said, a bit, I've got a great idea. You didn't say a bit, I got a great idea. You said it like Winchy was actually saying it.
Yeah, good. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the show. And yeah, there's more to come. This was my first puppet show. And Yasmin, you and we were at the beginning of making that puppet. So you've seen it come to a very far place from when we started with this piece of blue plastic and those yellow gloves. So anyway, I'm glad that you've experienced that. Thank you.
Welcome.
Hashima.
No, Hashima.
So tell us a bit more.
We also in the Dark and Wild, we done some Dankira Tehwagi, which is dance and movement. And what I liked about it is the arm movements we all done, and the movements, they were very graceful and nice. It was just smooth.
Yeah, it was smooth. African warrior dance is a very special form that we have there, dancing as the praying mantis. And there were quite a few new people there. There were some people there that you didn't see at the Dankira gathering, the Dark and Wild gathering. How did you find their movement?
I liked their movement. It was cool. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Good. Okay, well, thank you, Hashima.
Hashima, thank you, everybody.
Yes.
uLearn Naturally Radio.
Yes.
uLearn Naturally Radio. uLearn Naturally Radio. uLearn Naturally Radio.
My name is Yvonne Williams, and I attended the Dark and Wild on Saturday, where there was Astamari Bataku, my grandson, my granddaughter, Akim and Kayla, and some other people that I'd come into contact with, and also previously, and other people who just come to find out about the event. I observed the Tehwagi, that was the dance that was happening. Particularly enjoyed watching Akim very freely do his Abit, which I felt was like an introduction. And I also attend the Tehwagi classes on a Friday evening, in which I've been learning the art of the dance, along with the dynamics that go with it. And I didn't make an opportunity to join in on this occasion, but I will be during other events.
Thank you for sharing that, Yvonne. It's very good to hear you, and you are one with a particularly special experience regarding the Dankira Tehwagi warrior dance, because you are one that has seen your grandchildren involved in related learning, the level being 9 class, and you have also been involved for a length of time in the pedagogy class, Educating with Unified Knowledge Foundation Course 1, for which you have passed through the first phase of this. So you are one for a special experience with that. And obviously you have also seen several Dark and Wild events. So I was observing as we were in the play, and you were on. The reason why you weren't able to attend into the dance so much because you were busy preparing healthful food for us in the kitchen. You were helping out with this, but I observed you observing the movement from your view, and it made me to wonder how you were finding the movement, especially for the adults. Because there were several adults there who, for them, it was completely new in terms of coming into that warrior dance space, the way that we do it, and how you found the whole flow of that, both adult and children. There were children there who, for whom it was also new, so you were seeing seeing a new thing for themselves.
Yeah, I thought that they were particularly natural in their movements, and also in their adaptations of the art of the dance.
Yes, it was very good. And what I realized in this process, I did speak with Tehwagi Kemi, and in our reasoning, I realized, I made a point to say that I enjoyed the way this was set up, the setup towards doing the warrior dance, because there are different ways that I can introduce that, and typically in a class it comes in a certain way, but obviously this isn't a class, this is a social gathering. We're having a social gathering in which there is dance and food and social networking going on, but the dance was preceded by the puppet show, Abit and the Point of Origin. And so inside of that, we had spent a lengthy time watching a puppet show about Abit and its world, the world of Abit, and also a video which was showing the whole instar molting process of Abit, the transformation of Abit and its movement. And so ones were in a deep concentration for this in the precursor to doing the dance. And I enjoyed the fact that at the end of the show, there's a range of movement that you can do with the puppetry, which is within its range is very special. And I receive gracefully all the praise from the children and adults about how they found the show. There's a range of movement within that, and there's an immersion inside of that. But when you come to doing full-on warrior dance as a human-bodied being, the range is perhaps easier to get to of expression. So I enjoyed moving from the puppet show to the full Dankira, Tehwagi, Abit, and Ngoma. And then to be with in a gathering where ones had just watched that and had that concentration and were then able to start to express it in body, in dance, socially, with such fun and harmony. It was very nice. I enjoyed it very much. Yeah.
And maybe as well that the people that actually experienced the dance was able to visualize, especially when they were doing the Ngoma.
Yes, I see that. That is my point, exactly that the precursor show enhanced the visualization so that they can express it more naturally, quickly. Yeah. And it was good. It was very good. So I'm going to collect some more thoughts from other ones, and we'll put this forward. This will be out in some podcast and testimonials, so ones can hear from the inside what Dankira Tehwagi is about. Yeah. Okay. I mean, also, the precursor to the show, the puppet show, was obviously a reasoning about our festival. And the festival shows a whole range of creative learning events and forms. And the ones were able to hear about those things. So that is also part of the precursor, to show a powerful range of activities that the collective, the cooperative are doing. It was good. It was a great flow. So again, go on.
The only thing that I thought that may have been missing was actually the pamphlet with the events of the Science Week and the events, all the forthcoming events.
Yeah. You know what happened there? We had some visitors earlier on, and they took them all. They took them out because they wanted to circulate them. So I allowed that, and there was a point where I had hoped to reprint some more for the gathering, but that didn't take place. So we'll have to bear that in mind. I will obviously circulate. The ones who came have seen that. They've seen that information. But it would have been very appropriate to have more of them there still, so ones could have taken a batch or so and taken it forward and circulate them.
Okay, because I was looking at Pat, can't remember. She said that
Sister Trisha or Sister Sonia?
Trisha, yeah.
Trisha, okay.
She said that she hadn't seen one.
Okay.
So that was why I also went out to look for them, and then I did, because I remember seeing some on the table. Yeah.
So ones came earlier on and cleaned them all out. So I will send it to her. I've sent it to her already, and I'll resend it so it's at the top of her in tray. Yeah, no problem.
And they were actually amazed at the way that when you were questioning the cadets and their responses, so they were asking about the Monday and Tuesday classes and showing some interest.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the things that we're doing is that there are advanced forms. Internally, we know there's a lot of work to do and many more places to move to, and the pace can be always refined and enhanced.
Yeah.
But without a doubt, when these things are shown externally, it's a complete innovation and advanced thing for most people. Did you hear any feedback from the children? Did they share with you any of their thoughts about the event or anything like this?
They were trying to stay awake, but they fell asleep.
Yeah.
Because, I know Kim wanted to voice his opinion.
Okay, well, what we will do, I mean, tomorrow, I will do a recording for them, and let's have a chance to hear their voice about the show, so you can prepare them for that. Okay. Give thanks, Yvonne.
Okay,
Hashima.
Build deep and complete. Welcome to the Black Open University show
on Let's Radio.
Okay, Akeem, so you've got something to say about our recent Dark and Wild gathering. Please introduce yourself and tell us what you have to say.
Hi, my name is Akeem Anthony Elmer Williams, and the day before yesterday I was at the Dark and Wild, and regarding to the puppet show, Astamari made a praying mantis, and he was using movements, and in the puppet show, Abit took one of his special naps. And then after the puppet show,
just regarding the puppet show, so because you did something with your hands, so when you said movement, it was hand movement. Obviously it's puppetry, so I was using the hand movement to express the puppet.
Okay.
How did you find the puppet show, both in terms of, well, the whole thing? What was it like? Because the people listening to this, probably they weren't there, and so they have no idea what we're talking about. So you should explain how it looked, the environment, the way the puppet was, the way the story was, this kind of thing.
Okay, so the puppet, it had some cardboard curved hands, like a raw praying mantis, and some cardboard wings at the back for it to fly, but it didn't fly in the puppet show, and a head, and some orange eyes. And Asmari was putting some realistic movements to it for it to look real. And okay.
Did you feel the character of Abit in the show?
Yes, I did.
Good. Well, that's the idea in puppetry.
It was great.
Well, good. Give thanks. That is good. Good to hear that. How did you find the story?
Interesting.
What was interesting about the story, Akeem?
The movement, how you made it move, and when you was talking about a bit realizing about measure, look. Okay, look means measure. Okay, and number, kuta. Okay, and ratio kafu. And about he was playing with some points, and his friend Winchy was impressed of those two, of how he realized Okay.
How he realised.
How she realised that he had two different worlds.
It's interesting. Okay. So yeah, good. I'm glad you saw it, and you know that we're discussing these things in our classes, so you're seeing it in a new way. This is a new way. It's my first puppet show, Akeem. And so
wait, I saw you do another puppet show with the other praying mantis that.
Oh, the one I showed on WhatsApp.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that was a pilot. There was no audience there. I was doing that as practice for this, so that it was a taster of the thing, but it wasn't the thing. What you saw at the Dark and Wild was a show. So you saw some preparations to the show, which I didn't send out to anyone else. I only sent it out to members, just so they have a vibe of what's going on. But that was the first show. That's the first time the story, when I did that first one, the story wasn't in it. It was simply some movements and some background things. But this had the story, the movements, and the whole setup of the area, the performance space. So it was the show. Different. Okay, King, cool. Well done. I think you've said quite a bit on there, but is there anything else you want to say about the puppet show?
There's one question I want to ask you.
Okay.
Where was Winchy the crane?
In the puppet show?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good question. Well, I'm thinking about that. Winchy, at this point, Winchy in the puppet show is in the mind of the audience. And I'm going to... You saw there was a video playing in the background.
Yeah, that the other praying mantis. I think that was a dead leaf mantis, or...
That's right, Philocrania paradoxa, the African dead leaf mantis molting.
Or ghost mantis, you can call it.
Some people do call it that. So, yeah, there was a video like this. But actually, the puppet show, the next version of the puppet show, which you're going to see soon, I expect, is going to have that video, but other things coming in between the scenes of the video to illustrate the points being made in the story. And so you will see some things to do with Winchy in the next version of the show. There'll be some visuals to help you see what Winchy is doing. But in this first show, Winchy was in the mind of the audience, simply because the Abit puppet requires both hands and a lot of effort to be involved in it. So it's not possible to come out of it and play another puppet. However, it would be great to have more puppeteers.
That's why
Hold on, I haven't finished. However, it would be great to have more puppeteers so that someone else could control the Winchy puppet. We can make the Winchy puppet. Then Winchy could be another puppet in the show. But go on, you were going to say something.
So that's why you didn't use two puppets, because you used both hands in one puppet, and you couldn't just take one out, because that one would have been lame like that. Then the show would be, I would say,
broken.
Yeah,
it would be broken if I had done that. But sometimes, if it was easy to get in and out of the puppet, then I could have done that. I could play one puppet and then come out of that and then come into another one and bring it in. That's possible, except for the scenes where the two of them are in a close interaction. They're both talking together, they're both doing something together, then obviously it's not easy to play the two together. But the best way for that is to have more puppeteers. Another puppet, another person, another Tehwagi controlling the other puppet. And then the two puppets can interact very easily.
That's what I was thinking about, because I was thinking that, the show would have been broken you was using both at the same time. So because I was thinking then, why couldn't I have played Winchi?
Oh, but Akeem, you could. Obviously, you see it needs practice, right?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I was thinking I needed practice because I wouldn't know how to make it move and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think I noticed how you was moving his head. You put some sellotape around your finger and then you was moving it while you was moving your finger.
Well, there's a lot happening behind, but if you become a puppeteer, then you will know all the secrets of that. And regarding the Wing Chun, the advantage that we have as Tehwagi is that you know how to play Wing Chun Goma. You know how to do the Wing Chun dancing, the martial arts for this. To some degree, you're learning that. So this is the advantage for a Tehwagi, a member Tehwagi, to actually control the puppets of a character that they know how to play. That's a real quality, and not many people have it. So you would be one of a few that could potentially control a puppet in this kind of show. Yeah, so I'm glad you have the interest and you thought about it. That's good.
There's something different I want to say. It's not to do with the puppet show, but we did it yesterday before the puppet show and before the Dankira Tehwagi.
Yes.
So before we did some drumming.
At the Dark and Wild event.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was doing the Kayla and the rest of the children were doing E.
Yes.
Okay, so is E. Okay, so but how you play it is 100 is 1000 1000 1100 11011. Okay.
Yeah.
But on the drum it sounds better because then you could hear. But if you do it like that, it's not the same.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's different.
I get what you mean. Let me just explain that, because obviously some people are not going to know where you've gone with that thing you just done. So when you say you're playing the what you're talking about is our binary drumming system, and you're playing a word, the word with two numbers for O and M, to turn the numbers into binary, then to turn the binary into clapping or drumming. Then we can make rhythms, which is what we do and you've done. And I know you did that at the Dark and Wild, and you were keen to show that you know the thing, which you started, and obviously you want to demonstrate that you know it. So I get that. That's good.
Yeah, because I was going faster and faster, then it was broken.
That's right. Well, I respect the fact that you're determined to show that you know it, Hashima. That's good. And obviously next time you'll keep it steady so it won't break.
I need practice.
Practice at what?
Practice. I know E, but I still think I need to practice it.
What? When you practice it, what will you be doing in the practice? What will you be trying to do in the practice?
Make sound correct.
Okay. Well, that's right. And inside of the making it sound correct is keeping it steady. That's it. Because if you don't rush it, then you won't become unstable, and then it won't break. It's easy to keep it steady if you don't rush it. Then it's hard to break it. If you keep it steady, it's hard to break it because you know the rhythm. You just show that you know what the pattern is. So really, the only issue is if you try to rush it and then break it. But if you keep it steady, then it won't fall. The practice, by the way, for you, now that you mention it, you have to practice with other people. There's no point for you just to practice on your own, because as soon as you start to have to play with someone else, it will get confusing and then it will break again. So if you practice, this is why you have the benefit of having a sister who is a Tehwagi for this. So the two of you can practice together and then you can't fail. But
because she didn't come on the Tuesday class, that was days ago though, she doesn't know that it's 10001100110011. So I'm trying to say that I can teach her, but it depends on if she's looking at me and listening.
I hear you, and that's cool. You should teach her anything that you know that she doesn't know. You should teach her it, and likewise, when she's teaching you things that you don't know, you should listen carefully and respect her for that. And when you both have that thing where you can just teach each other things that the other one is not as strong in, then you're unstoppable. That's proper Tehwagi business. So I'm looking forward to that. You're speaking in the right way, King. This is correct, sound reasoning, Hashima. So, okay, that's cool. We've spent a bit of time on this. I know that you've got some appointments, so let's stop on the puppetry. And yeah, tell us, you were also there for the warrior dance, the dark and wild Dankira Tehwagi expressions. So please, just because I'm going to use this in different ways, reintroduce yourself and give us an introduction to how you found the Dankira Tehwagi part of our Dark and Wild gathering.
Hi, my name is Akeem Anthony Elmer Williams, and the day before yesterday, I was at the Dark and Wild, and regarding to the Dankira Tehwagi, it was great.
What makes it to be great, Akeem?
It shows how it shows the movement of the praying mantis.
So what did we do? Remember again, we're doing a podcast, and inside of that, some people are going to hear this who just have not seen it. Maybe they've not heard this thing before. The language we're using, they don't know what we mean by Dankira Tehwagi. So you should explain what it is that we did. What happened when we did this warrior dance? How was it? What does it look like? What does it feel like? How is it for you? How did you think it was for others? What did you experience?
So, I felt like I was a real praying mantis because I don't exactly mean a real praying mantis. I mean like maybe a person becoming a praying mantis.
Okay, it's clear enough to me. And really, this thing is not, there's only so far someone who doesn't know, hasn't done it, can get what you're saying. But I get what you're saying, and that's clear enough. Becoming is the key, and being. So anyway, what else do you have to say about this? Speak up.
The crane dance, that was fantastic. I thought I was gonna fall down, but not even once. That's because I was focusing on you, not anything else but you. Many other times I'm looking over there, and okay, so let's say that I was looking at the audience, and I wasn't looking at you, so you could easily get me and I could fall down, but this time I didn't, because I was concentrating on you more.
Okay. Well, it is. You have to. Well, concentration is part of consciousness, so I guess we're increasing perception and consciousness in your play. That is exactly the point. And the more you do that, and beyond concentrating on me, to concentrate on your expression, your becoming of the crane. This is the next place for you. For your concentration to be completely and only on you being Wing Chi. That then is the height of the freedom. So I'm looking forward to you getting there. But it was fun. I enjoyed the play. It was nice, and I know you like the Wing Chi and Goma. And in this one, this Dark and Wild, you got to play both Wing Chi and Goma and Abit and Goma. How did you find it when we did that group movement? Everyone, all the audience, everyone that was there was doing Abit and Goma movement. How did you find that?
It was cool. Because one person got to do it, then another, then another, then another. And I would say they were being they were focusing on you, just like I was. So that's how they didn't get knocked down either. And
I don't mean the time when we played 1-to-1. I don't mean that one where we played a normal in Goma. We played 1-to-1, and I invited individuals in to explore it, some for the first time. I mean when everyone was moving all together, and people were in their own spaces, but we were in this space, and everyone was playing Abit and Goma. Sometimes with each other, so just free in the space. Did you experience that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Anyway, I know there's things that we have to be doing. Today is a busy day for you, so we could sit here and talk about this for a long time. I can see that. Okay, Akeem. Anything else to say about the Dankira Tehwagi, to summarize, close up on what we're saying?
No, not anything else.
Okay, good. Thank you, Hashima.
Welcome to the Black Open University Show. Building education from an African place of being. Black Open University Show. Rebuilding education from an African place of being.
uLearn Naturally Radio. Yes. uLearn Naturally Radio. uLearn Naturally Radio.
Welcome to the Black Open University Show. Rebuilding education from an African place of being.
uLearn Naturally Radio. Yes. uLearn Naturally Radio. uLearn Naturally Radio.
Welcome to the Black Open University Show. Rebuilding education from an African place of being.
uLearn Naturally Radio. Yes. uLearn Naturally Radio. uLearn Naturally Radio.
Welcome to the Black Open University Show. Rebuilding education from an African place of being.
uLearn Naturally Radio. Yes. uLearn Naturally Radio. uLearn Naturally Radio.
Fearless when you walk, honest when you talk, forces can't change. Your swagger precedes you, so step into your light, remember who you are, that goal of the sun.
Welcome to the Black Open University Show. Rebuilding education from an African place of being.
uLearn Naturally Radio. Yes. uLearn Naturally Radio. uLearn Naturally Radio.
So stand tall and be firm. Let your voice be heard. Babylon's got to fall now. Your ancestors demand it. Release
Welcome
the
to the
ball
Black
and
Open University
change.
Show.
Cause no matter what they do, despite what they
Rebuilding
say,
education
black gold
from an
always shine,
African
shine,
place
shine.
of being.
Orekelewa. Shine, black gold always shine. Black gold got to shine. Let it shine.
uLearn Naturally Radio. Yes.
Let it shine.
uLearn Naturally Radio.
Black gold shine. Black gold shine. Black gold always shine, shine, shine.
Welcome to the Black Open University Show. Rebuilding education from an African place of being.
Do you know, perseverance is the mother of all creation? Yes, we are
Black.
uLearn Naturally Radio. Yes. uLearn
The Black Open University Show. Building education from
uLearn Naturally Radio. Yes. uLearn Naturally Radio. uLearn Naturally Radio.
Welcome to the Black Open University Show. Rebuilding education from an African place of being.
uLearn Naturally Radio. Yes. uLearn Naturally Radio. uLearn Naturally Radio.
Welcome to the Black Open University Show. Building education from an African place of being.
uLearn Naturally Radio. Yes. uLearn Naturally Radio. uLearn Naturally Radio.
Welcome to the Black Open University Show. Rebuilding education from an African place of being.
Hi, greetings, Asamari.
Greetings, Sonia. Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And how you doing?
Good, I'm well, thank you. Give thanks. Yeah, the reason I'm calling is because I'm doing a review of our event. I want to do a very brief audio telephone review with you and other ones who saw the puppet show. Thank you for attending. Thank you for attending our recent event. Please introduce yourself and tell us your thoughts regarding the puppet show.
Oh, hi, my name's Sonia Kamara, and I attended the recent Dark and Wild social gathering, and I was at the puppet show. And I have to say, it was totally fascinating. Firstly, the puppet resembled the praying mantis to a T. It was quite incredible. Being a crafter myself, you could see that a lot of thought and work went into that. And then the story, first of all, I had to really take my mind back to my maths lesson. But just listening to the story regarding the points and the numbers, I was quite intrigued because I learned something. It was really a lesson about life and how we position ourselves, and don't position ourselves all at the same time. It was clear to me the children enjoyed the whole display, which was delivered. Anyone, you didn't have to be a child to actually enjoy the puppet show. It was truly an eventful evening, and I have to say thank you very much to the Dark and Wild team.
Well, thank you, Sonia, and that I really appreciate your commentary, because you yourself are an expert in the whole business of textiles and craft making. I mean, give us a little introduction to your program, because you're running a program at the centre. We did our Dark and Wild gathering at the Chestnut Centre, and at this very same time, you are running a program here which is related in the way of craft making. So just give us an insight to that, and then let's speak a bit more about what you were saying.
Well, I can give you an insight to the sound together, but let me just continue a little bit more about the puppet.
Okay.
Now, the puppet was clearly handmade, and the puppet was handmade with fabric and textile and wire. Now, whoever made that puppet has got more than an imagination. That individual is a crafter, because that was something that's been made from scratch. That wasn't purchased anywhere. That's somebody who sat down and made that. And it was, it was interesting because as a puppeteer, it moved. It did every single thing exactly the same as the praying mantis that we could see as part and parcel on the screen. It was fabulous, really. Honestly, there's so much insight that went into that. It wasn't something that was just thrown together. You could see the depth and thought that went into that to deliver it. And I have to really commend the individuals that put that together, saying that, because I was fascinated.
Well, thank you for that, because the one who put that together is a sister called Hortense, and she introduced herself. She knows the centre very well. She does works around here, and she knows the centre very well, and her son is in the space a lot as well. But in our conversation, she mentioned that she has a background with theatrical work. And as soon as she said this, because I have the show coming up, I had to explore it with her. And then I came to see that she has these crafting skills. So we've gone through, you're right, a lot of work has gone into the crafting of that puppet, a lot of work. We've had many
ways about that, yes.
No, I mean, she's going to be very pleased when she hears these testimonials, because several people have commented in this, and we've had a lot of coming to the centre, reviewing it, exploring it, tweaking it, going back, and she has declared that she's put quite a few sleepless nights into this. So I know she will appreciate that people just can see the quality, they can see the thing, they can see that it's craft, and it is. So yeah, you are one. As I was trying to invite you to give your credentials.
I'm happy to do that, but I just wanted to say that first. Right. So the Sewn Together project, we've recently, very fortunately, was awarded some funding from the Paddington Trust Equip Bid to deliver arts and crafts. We are crafters and we are actually recyclers. So what we like to do is work with stuff, no matter what it is, textiles, fabric, paper, and make something out of nothing. And we've been so fortunate that our workshop has been oversubscribed. We've had 2 workshops so far. First one on bookbinding, which was an absolutely fabulous workshop. So much to learn about textures, putting things together. And then you've got something functional at the end, made out of scraps of paper, bits of card that people basically were going to throw away, or had thrown away, and we've reclaimed them. And that was delivered by Sandra, an excellent facilitator. A lot of passion. You can easily follow her workshops with great delivery. And every single person who attended that workshop completed that task. And what was great, the following week, the task term, the week after that, when everybody came back to the class, 90% of the participants brought in their book that they'd made and showed the work that they had continued. And you should see the work that people have done. It was just so fantastic. They put pockets and diaries and memorabilia, and it's starting to be a bit of a journaling process for people, which is really nice. Really nice. But, you know, the program's got other bits attached to it. We've got pattern cutting with Jesslyn. We've got embroidery, crocheting. We've got Donald, a young man who's been homeless, delivering from pavement to catwalk, making items of clothing from trash. We've got Robert, our sustainable and environmental expert, delivering a workshop on sustainability and keeping things out of landfills. But what we have got, workshops going to be delivered by MLB Gilly, about starting your own business. And then we're having a big fair at the end. People can come along and purchase stuff, attend workshops, and really get to grips what the project delivered over will be over 12 weeks.
It's fantastic. I'm here. We're based in the centre, so I have the good fortune to be close to it, but in a way the misfortune to be working while it's happening, because I myself would like to do these things. It's great. I see everyone's really enjoying it, and I'm observing very carefully the intersection between what you're doing and this puppetry show, because the whole, for me, the fact that we've got someone who has a skill for that, and has put a hand to the crafting, that's one thing. But the real point is to develop a way so that our cadets could start to make this thing for themselves, that our members can make their own puppets and start to get into the puppetry. This for me is the point. I'm entering this to open up a whole new form of performance for our collectives. That's the idea.
And that's I have to tell you, you are exactly on the right line, because over the years, individuals have been taught to suppress their creative genius. So a lot of people have not taken up a form of art, craft, hobby. And our young people, you could see the young people, at the Dark and Wild social gathering yesterday, that puppetry display, they were totally engaged and engrossed in the story, because afterwards, you asked questions, they were asked questions, and they were totally engaged and shared what they felt, what they saw, their experience. I was there and I heard exactly what what it meant to them. So we had instant engagement. So it is a craft, it is a gift as well. And yes, our young people should be taught how to make puppets of all sorts of things, because growing up in the Caribbean, you had the Nancy story, and growing up in Africa, you have the griot. And the griot is thing, but puppetry is very big in Africa.
Yes.
The show, it's very big. It's really big. They have traditional puppets, masks, puppet masks, and they tell stories. And that leads me on to your story, where you were actually telling us the story of somebody who made a drum. How the drums are made, and you were explaining that process, because that is another tradition where you have families for thousands of years, where the family, that's who they make drum.
That's right.
It's a spiritual thing in lots of ways. A lot of people don't understand. It's all connected. It's really, really important that we discover the genius in us, our creative genius, because that is what keeps us all spiritually connected.
You're right. It is really, really special, and that for me also in this is the connection between the crafts, the arts and the crafts, with the STEM subjects, the science, technology, engineering and math. So obviously the story, Abit and the Point of Origin, was teaching about the real number set and real number theory. And I'll put out more resources for those who attended specifically. There's some more resources for them to follow up on that in regard to the nature of counting numbers, whole numbers, integers, rational numbers, onto imaginary complex numbers, and so on like this. There's a follow-up to it. But to have an introduction in that way, the follow-up becomes easier, because now we've just outlined a whole creative world in which the mathematics exists in a very fun way.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. It is introduced in the mathematics in a fun way, but that's how it should be introduced. And in some ways, that's how it was introduced before, when people used to have a little block. You know, there was a stage where people had a little bead and a little box. The abacus is something that was visual, and you could play with it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the same. It's a similar principle.
Yeah.
Because the visual and the tactile way of doing something, exactly the same way where you displayed that through puppetry.
That's right.
It gives the individuals a chance to connect and get a bit of understanding in a simplified way, but they get it.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's fabulous, really. Honestly, you have to be, very, very, very pleased with the social gathering, because it's a social gathering, but the social gathering with a learning aspect, and that's something I believe all communities need.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you had to leave a bit early, but what took place after that was that we actually went into our Dankira Tehwagi, our warrior dance. So then there was an activity where everyone was dancing as Abit, as the praying mantis. Yeah,
wow.
yeah. That was a lot of fun, and being built on the puppet show, with the immersion that already had. And obviously before the puppet show was a general reasoning about the whole context of the works. So yeah, it was a good flow. It was a very nice abundance gathering. In a way, I would say it was our best one to date, because of the way things connected. Although we'll tighten up on our sort of pre-setting of some things. I would like to have like the whole environment set up in a much more detailed way before the event starts, but that's subject to the building and other things. But aside from that, the whole flow, once it started to flow, was perfectly on point. And yeah. So and I don't think you've really seen the warrior dance. I don't think you've seen it yet. So
I have seen. Well, I've seen when you do some upstairs when you're sometimes in the dance room, but I'm not sure if that's warrior dance.
That is the warrior dance, but it's...
Yeah, I have seen, when you do some stuff with Yvonne.
Yeah, it's... I mean, when we're in the class, in a way, we're training to develop a capacity for a certain way of expression. But at a Dark and Wild social gathering, that's the time to just be expressing. It's the performance day. It's the day to just show, rather than to train and learn how to show, or to develop your capacity to show. This is being day. Yeah. Being present, being fully expressed, expressing the characters that you've learnt about, enjoying the drama, enjoying the show, enjoying the stories that you're telling, but the story of the events, the story of us gathering. That story as well is a story that's taking place as we gather. The whole thing, all the levels of being, Tehwagi are preparing for that. So it's a very rich experience. The Dark and Wild social gathering is a very profound kind of experience, which, as I say, can have a person attending at one moment be watching a puppetry show, and at the next moment be a performer, even though they've had no training for it, expressing movement that was in the puppetry show. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's really, it's something that, I think is wonderful, and it will continue. And obviously more and more people will get involved because it's something that people, especially young people, it's brilliant to see young people engaged. I mean, I was just happy because it was in the evening, and it was nice to see young people out in the evening, because when we were little, you'd be out quite late in the evening, but you don't see that so often now. So it had a lot of, for me, it was a great moment, and I was very privileged to be there, part of that, so thank you for the invitation.
No, thank you. And on a final point regarding that, it is a family-friendly event. I mean, there's because it's a Saturday. There's some who would like us to make it more like an adult social event and have those kind of adult things there, like alcohol and that kind of thing. We don't do that because that would change the dynamic from the family environment, and it's very special. It's very precious for them to be able to come out and have a kind of party, which is not a birthday party or a regular party, but it's still a party that they can see other children, they can do something constructive, get some food and vibes and relax, and see their parents and guardians also doing the same thing, and do activities that harmonize everyone through cultural arts. So it's a very specific and special kind of social gathering that we don't have enough of in the community. So I'm pleased that we are keeping that existing. And I just to put it back to yourself, I commend you. One, for thank you for coming, and two, on your great works.
Absolutely. No. It's, for me, it's the teamwork. I believe in the teamwork. When you've got the right team, the right mechanism, the right numbers, you're into STEM, mathematics. We all know it's about the combination. And once you've got that right, it's unstoppable.
Absolutely.
That's what I think is really important, and that's what I strive towards, because I know that that's the best way to get there, stay there, and to bring people along, and to grow yourself. For me, it's all about me growing as well. What can I learn? How can I make myself better? And that means doing things that stretch you, empower you, open up your mind. It's very important, and you can learn a lot. You see, what's really interesting, you can learn a lot from the children, and I think it's really fabulous. I just love the way that when they ask questions, they can all give you feedback. I was just really impressed by that. They all, their own what they saw, and they were happy to share that. That's just so wonderful.
Yeah, I was touched by that also. For me, this is the first puppet show. I had made a kind of pilot version, a YouTube pilot. Well, it wasn't even YouTube. It was a WhatsApp private pilot edition. So I recorded myself doing a mini version of the show. But this is the first public puppet show that I've done. And this puppetry business is something, it's caught my heart, if you like. For a long time, I've been thinking, I want to do this. I've been considering even doing courses in it. It's very hard to get training for this.
Yes, I do.
But so to have done the first one, for me, the first one was, all I'm really seeing is that there's so much more that will be in the next one. And to receive such a deep appreciation of this first level has touched me, because I know what's coming.
Yeah, no, it's very, honestly, it's very good. Very, very good. I just think it's fascinating how, you put things together, the program together. A lot of thought went into that, and this is really important, because, when we're building our houses, we're not building our houses in dry sand and waiting for the water to come in. We're building it with proper building blocks that are going to stand, nurture, empower, and grow people. And that's all actually we want as a community.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Sonia.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
That's a pleasure, Samari. Well done. And I will be in touch.
Yes, likewise.
Okay then.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Hashima.
Bye.
Build deep and complete.
Do you know of the water of life?
What's the big idea? What's the big idea? Original again, start from the heart. Not art, too indeed. I see, I feel. Mathematics, matrix, institutes, patterns. 1, 2, 3, you learn classic.
Welcome to the Black Open University Show. Rebuilding education from an African place of being. Welcome to the Black Open University Show. Building education from an African place of being.
Greetings, Shima to all family. My name is Trisha Expressionist. I attended the Dark and Wild event on Saturday, and I was captivated by the puppet show. What captivated me was the way I was drawn into the story. Abit, yeah. How I was drawn into the story. The movement of the puppet also captivated my mind. You know, I just went on a journey. I left these realms in order to travel somewhere else where I didn't even know I was going. It was very informative. It was about time and space and the space between numbers. And yeah, there was something about it that I still feel is in the process of revealing itself. What I felt for the event was that it was therapy. It was therapeutic. There was something that was very therapeutic about it. I myself at the moment has been doing meditation classes and doing this whole meditation journey, and it was able to captivate me into that space of a meditative state, if that makes sense.
It's very clear. It's very clear, and I know you have experience for this, so I receive your words very carefully because you are one well experienced for these kind of healing arts and performing spaces, artistic, creative spaces. So thank you for your comments and your compliments. Any other thoughts about the story or the puppetry specifically? Anything that stuck there?
I think it kind of felt like it was, now what's coming to mind, it felt like it was quite ancestral. Something about the story, and because of the remit that the work is being done in the sciences and seeing science from its origin, from its root, I feel that it would be it's like a missing ingredient to how we learn and gather information. So if that could be harnessed and we could get more of those experiences, I'm sure we would tap. There was something that tapped into a different, like we talk about learned behaviors and mindsets. I felt like the journey of interaction freed up something. It almost like a click button went. So now I'm wondering what my brain is like. But a click button went in my brain that went, it connected to somewhere else. You know, and so the depths of the journey, the ancestral journey, that is still
unfolding for us.
What do you
as
mean?
A people.
What do you mean by ancestral journey? I think that's a language that you're comfortable with. That some people may not know what you mean by that. What do you mean by that?
Okay. So you know what I always say? How do I know what I know? And I don't profess to know anything because I really try to live in the here and now. But there is something that I've always known. Yeah, there's something that I've always been. So, you know, if I line it to like my family, my mother and father are Caribbean, and they never taught me no rituals or any practices to say that was part of my heritage. Yeah. But yet, I know practices, rituals. You know, I do. You know, my frankincense and myrrh. I do that. You know, that's part of my life. That's part of how I live. I use sage. I use cowrie shells, and these things weren't necessarily taught to me. There were things that once I came across them, I knew what to do. So when I say ancestral, what ancestral is for I is like, it's part of my ongoing story, my ongoing path, my path of who I've always been. I am here now in this personality today, I, Trisha, and that's just a label that helps to define you to know who I am. But there is me that has always been here, if that makes any sense.
An essentialness about you, an eternalness about the I, that you are feeling connected to and exploring and learning and embodying.
And rediscovering. And rediscovering, because it's almost like you can become very childlike. You know, the puppetry allows you to be childlike for your own childhood experiences that, you remember, or you can, or it reignites. But also childlike from somewhere else. Somewhere else that's still yet to be discovered. Because it's that somewhere else that we need to get to.
I hear you, and I'm what particularly resonates, there's much in what you've said, and what particularly resonates for me is regarding in the art of puppetry. There is a value for the suspension of disbelief, because obviously I'm controlling a puppet, but everyone there can see that I am my person is here, but they can see the character and what the character is doing, and my whole attention is inside of this, and so its idea can come forward. What I enjoyed with this, in regard to what you're saying, is the way that you can use that kind of art to explore the math and the science, because the whole of the story was about number and details about number. But as you said, we entered a certain space. Even the whole event, in fact, because you were there from the beginning, you saw we had a reasoning that took place that set a context. There was some music, there was a food and a vibes. And when we came into the show, we had already sort of settled into a certain clarity. And then the show opened up a new space into which there were several points of concentration: the puppet, the visual effects, and the audio narrative. And all of that was geared towards discussing number, but realizing the metaphysical nature of this conversation, as in the non-physical nature. This is why I explained at the beginning what a point is, because that in itself is immediately the reality of a point is a metaphysical conversation, which is fundamental in mathematics but rarely discussed in that way. Yeah, I can get why you've taken it in the way you have, and it resonates with you in the way that it does. I can see why it would do that. Yeah, and I know you have you have quite a clan, so you have many networks of families around the eye. So you see it as relevant for them.
Yeah, definitely. I think you know, part of my coming forward to reconnect with you once more is because I'm looking at what is needed for the children that are around me, and I know that they're not being fed fully so that they can have that creativity that doesn't hold so much boundaries, and so coming forward and seeing that, it just makes me think like, oh my gosh, we've got to do this again, but for more of the little ones, for all of my grandchildren, so that they can see, because when we were in that moment, you yourself was in that moment, and as you said, the puppet and you became one. The movement, the little tiny steps, the stepping forward, the leaning forward, the expansion of the whole body of the puppet, and you could actually feel that happening within your own self. I could feel like when the puppet stood up and raised his head, I kind of felt myself moving up, and then when the puppet went down small, I went down small, and all of this is language. It's it's communication. Sometimes we don't need to speak so much, but when we fully and that came out. That come out in the movement. It's how do we do mind, body, spirit movement. Yeah,
it's interesting when you say that, because for me, I find the word spirit is a very it's a challenged word in this day and age, because many people have different interpretations of this. But when I take it to its root, the word spirit directly translates to breath. So what you've just said is mind, body, breath, and that is the practicality of yoga, and that is the practicality of this thing that we're doing, mind, body, breath, harmony. So it touches me to hear that in the performance that you are harmonized in that way. That's great. Okay, so I know that you're kind of in between things. I'm not going to hold your time too much, but unless you've got something more specifically to say about the puppetry, I think we can move on to the warrior dance. Is there anything else you wanted to say about the puppetry?
No.
Okay.
But like I said, everything is always unfolding, so yeah.
Definitely.
Let's move on.
And what I can say, just in for me just to add a final word on the puppetry, definitely that it's unfolding, because that's the first show I've done, and there's so much more. There's so much more that I have in mind for even just this story, let alone future kinds of stories. This story, there's so much more. So you must come and see the next performance of this story.
Yes.
You'll be amazed at the place it goes to, and we go to with it. Anyway, so moving on, you also experienced the Dankira Tehwagi expression, the warrior dance expression. We like it that at our Dark and Wild gathering we dance. People have a chance to move around and free themselves up. So we did that, and you took part in that. So I'm keen to hear how you found the Dankira Tehwagi in our Dark and Wild event.
Say the name again.
Dankira Tehwagi. Dankira Tehwagi.
Oh, wow.
You can simply say warrior dance for now.
Dankira Tehwagi.
That's right.
Okay. Oh, yeah, the warrior dance. Do you know, when I watched one of the young people, I mean, as one of the children, I wasn't even a young person. I mean, the young person, yes, but a child. I think. How old was he? About, is he 7 or 8?
Yeah, that's
maybe
right.
not even that old.
That's right.
7 years old.
8.
Yeah, and he was 8. Okay, and I watched his movement with you, working in unison. You know, he was, and it reminded me of the capoeira kind of style. It's that kind of movement. And I remember years ago when my children were young, we used to go to events that would have capoeira, that movement, and I didn't like it. I don't know what it was, and I'm a dancer. I do African dance. I started with ballet. I started with contemporary. I did all of the dance, and something about that movement, I don't know what it did. It's not that I didn't like it, but something was going on. You know, I think it might have been that somewhere in my journey, and I've known it, but something could have happened and I didn't want to do it anymore, you know. But when I saw the young child doing it with you, adult to child, it felt like an exchange of something was going on. And even though there was backwards and forward movement, there was even a bit of competition going in, from the child to you to the child, but it felt like a really fluid exchange, and it was a togetherness, you know, the togetherness of it. So when we all got a chance to get up and engage in it, it felt light for me to do it. And it felt like it was authentic. You know, I wasn't just doing it because everybody else was doing it. And then the whole room was just captivated by just that kind of movement and flow. And I think what we just became more like energy. The room, the space became more like energy, and the freedom to express in that way, which is so important for children, to be able to have the freedom to express. And the movement in all of the children, you know, everybody was in their own zone. You know, and nobody was looking at anybody to go, oh, what is she doing? No, what are we doing? Oh, that one looks silly. You know, because these are kind of learned traits that get stuck in us as you know, out here in this world. But it was almost like that space, and there was a lot going on in that building.
Yeah,
but
you're right. Funny enough,
we were still able to captivate our own space, which felt like a bigger world than what was going on in the building.
You're right.
So you know, it was.
You're right. That's a good point. I hadn't thought about it that way, because there was a huge celebration in the main hall. They had their own music and hundreds of people, and they were doing what they were doing. And it didn't impinge on our space at all. Even some people, there was a situation where even someone did sort of bounce in, and they still didn't disturb our space. They were disturbing, but they just rolled back out again with the disturbance without disturbing the actual activities. It was quite interesting.
It wasn't interesting. It was almost like, you know, and that's the power, isn't it? When everybody locks into the same place.
You know what that
can't be moved.
That's right. No, you're right. there's a term for that in the Dankira Tehwagi. This thing, the space, is called gazats, and gazat means province, and that is exactly the point, to secure one's province, so that in that space you can be. This is the whole exact point. So I appreciate love that you can see it that clearly, because that is the whole point.
Well, I appreciate love that you can define it for what it is, because yeah, you see, this is it. This is the exchange. So we know that, you know, you see, for me, I would say the ancestral journey is like going, wake up, you're all awake. Is everybody still there? You know, and let's do what it is we got to do.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's needed and it's healing. This is all healing energy. It's all healing, and we need, you know, if we could just live in that. Wouldn't it be, you know, because even time didn't matter, did it? You know, we have events and we get told, oh, it starts at this time and it ends at this time, and then you get into a place where you're pressured by churning out what it is you've got to do within that allocated slot of time.
Yeah.
But time didn't have a place.
But you know,
because it wasn't about.
No, you've touched on another very special thing, because in the story, when Abit is talking about going inside between 0 and 1 and half and infinity, this is the way that you change time, by going inside smaller and smaller units and paying attention. So the reason time felt like that is because ones were paying attention to what was going on, and so the time changes when you start to do that, or the relationship to time and space changes when you pay attention, and especially if ones do it as a collective, in a unity, a collective unit or unity, a cooperative unity, paying attention on a specific area or a specific activity. It's a very special and essential activity. This is why we have these dark and wild gatherings. That is the reason for them, to demonstrate that, to allow one to experience it, and to keep it alive, to secure a space where people can be. Yeah. So I enjoyed your movement specifically, because I can see you're a dancer and you have experience for these things. So I can see you just kind of slotted into your own flow, your own way of expressing, and that was good to see. There were several ones like this, ones who hadn't been to a Dankira Tehwagi experience before. But I think also I realized in speaking with others and in reflection that because of the way the evening unfolded, by having that concentration on the story, where ones were seeing that whole molting and transformation of Abit in the video, and hearing the story, which is a narrative about number and space and time, and then to see the puppet and the puppetry, that all of that concentration took place before we did the Abit in Goma.
Yes.
So that was part of a process of becoming ready to be together in that way. Yeah, it was. I have to say, I think that was up to this point, our best dark and wild gathering. For the simplicity of how things proceeded and how each thing supported the next thing, and just the simplicity of that. And obviously, I'm very pleased to have launched that puppet show amongst launching our festival. I mean, the main point was to launch the festival, which we did. But personally, I have enjoyed launching the whole world of the puppetry, unified knowledge puppetry. uLearn naturally puppetry. It's you must come to the next one and see how that story is expressed again.
Oh, definitely. And bring my granddaughter.
Yeah, please bring everyone, bring the whole family. It's going to be a wonderful experience.
Yeah.
Hi, Trisha. We've reasoned for a good time. I know we could talk for more, but I think because I know you're in a kind of you're traveling to another thing, so I'm gonna give thanks for your time, and Hashima.
Hashima, and send me all relevant information. Keep me updated. The Monday classes. What time does the Monday classes start? Because I'd like to attend in the future. I know that one has to sign up and everything, but what time are they?
Okay, so on Monday there's 2 classes. The first class is the level being 9 class for children. That's our cadets, and that is from 4:15 to 5:45. Then from 6:30 to 8:30 is the uLearn Naturally, or the Unified Knowledge Foundation Course 1 Pedagogy class for parents and teachers. So those are the 2 classes that happen on a Monday. Then on Tuesday there's another level being 9 class, 4:15 to 5:45, and there's a different adult class, Hair Structure Science, is from 6:30 to 8:30. Then on Fridays from 8:30 to 10:30 is the Dankira Tehwagi Warrior Dance class.
Okay, that's on a Wednesday.
That's on a Friday. The Warrior Dance class is on a Friday.
Oh, that's on Friday.
Yeah. So those are the main classes that we're hosting at this point. All at the Chestnut Centre.
Yes. And so tonight's adult class is what time?
6:30 to 8:30.
Okay. I'd like to just come and try one of those classes.
You can do that.
And then look at how I can incorporate. It's definitely something that now has to become part of, a foundation to my journey. So,
You're very welcome, and I think it will be a very special development, because I know you are a well-connected one, and the insights from this will inform many things that you're connected to. I know that. Yeah, I think so. I think it's something that's missing. I think what you're doing is unique, is so needed, and and I remember thinking this when I first met you many years ago. And it's just how it's unique and it's so needed. And I think it's a balance. It's readdressing something that, like sometimes you're blind and you don't see. The blind spot. But we need, this thing it knows about in martial arts. Always you have to think about the blind spot and how to cover your blind spot. And the best way to do that is to work in teams. If you have a team, then there is no blind spot. That room, when we formed that space in the Dark and Wild Gathering, there were no blind spots.
No, none.
Yeah.
No.
So this is the power of that, and learning to do that and building more of that. Yeah, this is what it's all about, of course. Yeah.
Okay, no, give thanks. Give thanks for the reasoning, for the knowledge, and for the event, for seeing families together, safe, happy, and open to learning.
Well, give thanks, Hashima.
Open to learning. Yeah. Shima.
This is the whole objective summarized in your words. So thank you for saying that. Yeah. Thank you for being the one to see it so clearly, and I'm looking forward to the future. Definitely, it's. I've had very good reflections, specifically on the story and the whole gathering, and so it sets up future work in a very nice way.
Yeah. Okay, go forward and let's keep rising and shining in your light.
Give thanks, exactly that. Let it be that way. Let your light shine.
Yeah.
Ashima.
Okay, one love, yeah.
Bless.
Ashima.
uLearn Naturally Radio.
uLearn Naturally Radio.
uLearn Naturally Radio.
Yes.
Radio.
Ashima Kayla,
Hashim Astamori.
how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. So you attended our recent Dark and Wild gathering, and it was a lot of fun. So I'm really keen to hear from you about how you found it. And there's a couple of things I want to talk to you about. One, the puppetry show, and also, which was Abit and the Point of Origin, the name of the puppet show, and also the warrior dance, the Dankira Tehwagi. But let's start with the puppet show. Please introduce yourself and then tell us your thoughts about the puppet show.
Hello, I am Kayla. I'm a Divine Williams. About the puppet show, I saw lots of different things. The crane, the Abit movements.
Mm-hmm.
It was very interesting.
Okay.
And my comments was one point when it's cleaning itself.
Yeah.
I don't really get when it has its claws. I don't really get when it's cleaning itself.
Yes.
I don't really get why it does that. It looks like it's biting itself.
Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, you have to see that more carefully. No, what it's doing there, because it catches things with its forearms. Abit uses the forearms to catch its prey. And so when it catches, it has to hold them. It's got spiky bits on the forearms which go into the creature it's caught. And when it's eating, all the juices and the squishy bits of the bugs that it's eating, they come out. But generally, it eats everything. And so sometimes there's little bits stuck in between the spiky bits of its forearm. So when it's finished eating, it cleans all those bits. It's just like cleaning your knife and fork. If you clean your fork, you have to clean in between the pokey bits, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this is what it's doing. It's cleaning between its own pokey bits.
So, I'm not so sure if the claws are really. I don't know why there are little points on it.
The points are for gripping the prey. The forearm and its whole body has a good gripping motion. The rest of the feet, they have good gripping motion. They can hook onto things. So it can be upside down, it can be on the side. It's not going to fall like this.
And the eyes that it has is big for it to see, but it's really still waiting for its prey. So usually when it's the invisible prentice, they are waiting until it comes closer and closer. And sometimes they try to get their prey, but sometimes it can just easily fly away or something. But really, the way they are actually trying to catch it is really interesting because it's standing in a way. It's not moving, just like in front when it's trying to. The animal is trying to. The insect is trying to get to it, and then it's walking, trying to get it. That would not make sense, because if it's walking, it will know that it was trying to get it, and then it will fly away or run away or walk away.
Yeah,
but it keeps still for the animal to come close, the insect to come close to it, so then it can catch it.
That's right. I mean, you're describing it very carefully, and if I could summarize what you're saying, is that Abit keeps very still so that the prey doesn't see it, and then it can catch it by surprise. That's what it's doing. That is a stealth. Do you know this word stealth?
No.
Yeah, I haven't used that word with you before. But because you're talking about it in the way you are, that's another word for this. Stealth means to be able to move in a quiet way, in a way that's not easy to see or to perceive. Abit is very much like this, and you're right. It's not a creature to run down other creatures. It's not going to try and chase some creature. It's going to wait for the right time, and for the creature that is unaware, that one is the one that will be the prey, the thing that will be eaten, caught and eaten. But Kayla, let's talk specifically about the puppet show. How did you find the puppet show?
Really, really great, because the movements that you were making with the legs, the arms, I really liked the part when you were cleaning it, really, because it was really interesting, like seeing a real praying mantis on the screen and then you trying to doing the same thing. It's really interesting, and I like the way you put in the claws, and it looks really real and interesting.
Yeah, that the model, the puppets, that was made actually. The majority of the work for this was done by a sister called Hortense. She is a fantastic crafts person, and we've been talking. So I engaged her to help make this puppet, and we've been preparing it stage by stage, discussing it, testing it, and I have to say, as everyone else has said, she did a fantastic thing. It's a lot of textiles. We watched a lot of videos to see the Philocrania paradoxa, which is the African deadleaf mantis. This particular mantis, the brown one with the one that has the leaf on its head, this is our mantis.
That's the camouflage one.
That's right.
It looks like a real leaf, actually. When I sometimes watch those kinds of videos, I thought that was a leaf, but when I looked closer and properly, I noticed that was a praying mantis, and really it looks like a real leaf that was crunchy and brown,
like a dry leaf.
Yeah,
that's right. It does look exactly like a brown dry leaf, and that's its camouflage. That's its way of doing stealth, so that it can catch things by surprise. Yeah, you're right. So we did spend a lot of time in the making of that, and Hortense is the one. She's the lead creator for that puppet that you saw. It started though with a blue plastic bag like this and a pair of yellow gloves. That was the first version of it, and we took it far, and it's going to go further still. Tell me more about the show, and because obviously you saw many things, and you are a cadet, a level being 9 cadet, so you have some experience of our practice. Tell me more about how you found the story.
The story was very interesting. When you go 0 to a different number, it's really interesting because it goes to another number. It jumps.
Tell me more.
And also, I found this. When you say origin, you're putting power into it. So, and also, the story was really. I thought it was a nice story, and it was good.
What makes it to be nice and good?
What makes it nice and good is that one of the moments when you were speaking, there was the point of origin. The point of origin. So it's a point, and it's origin.
Well, that's the name, point of origin.
That when you put point into the word, it sounds better.
But you have to explain your meaning, Kayla. What do you mean by that? Why does it sound better?
It sounds better because that points are used with numbers. So I think a point is a type of way by using numbers to it. So number, I would call point number of origin.
Well, if you put it that way, the number of origin, what is the number of origin?
I think the number of origin is number. So origin with numbers, Latin.
What? Okay, because you did some research for that. I think so. If you're talking about the origin of the word origin, I mean, we're going a bit far into these words, but continue, Kayla. Let you speak freely. What else do you want to say about the puppet show?
For the puppet, the eyes, I actually thought it was made out of wood, the eyes. But then when I looked closer, it wasn't made out of wood. Was it?
Well,
because I saw that it was half the claws of the praying mantis puppet was made out of bark.
It was made out of fabrics and textiles. It was made out of materials and then painted and coloured and adorned. It was crafted. A lot of work went into it to craft it, to make it look that way. It was made to look natural, like a natural wooded thing, and it does. I see you like the puppet a lot, and that's really cool. I'm glad that you do, and I'm expecting us to learn to make these things. It's not just something you see has been made. I would like us to make them. We can do it, learn it together in classes as part of our cultural arts towards the math and science learning. Yes, Kayla.
Astamari, I've got one big question. Why didn't you show us the video about the little praying mantis and the bumping money spider?
Because that's not the story. That was a video to introduce our festival. I am actually going to use part of that video in these testimonials. So when people are watching the testimonials, when people are listening to these testimonials, testimonials are like this kind of conversation. I'm speaking to everyone who I'm speaking to some of the ones who attended the Dark and Wild gathering to speak about how they found the event. And there'll be a video made for this, and I'm going to use part of the one that you would like and you're talking about in that. But the reason I didn't use it there is because I needed, for the puppetry to work, it needs you to concentrate on the story and to concentrate on the puppets. If there's another thing playing in the background, like another video story, then it's distraction. So what was playing in the background? Well, you tell me, what was playing in the background?
A little praying mantis with the family, and it walked.
No, I don't mean for that one. I mean for the actual puppet show.
The actual puppet show, it was on the screen. Actually.
Yes, on the screen.
It was showing us a praying mantis taking off the old skin.
That's right.
So it's really, really interesting how it takes off the skin. So it's still, but it's taking, literally is trying to move it up.
Yeah.
Doing something.
It is a very interesting thing. It's shedding the old skin, and then it's climbing out of the old skin. And so when it finishes, as you saw, at the end, when it's come out of the old skin, the new revived Abit is there, and the old skin is still standing on the branch. So you can see that this creature has just come out of that skin. That was the video in the background. And the reason that video is better than having the first video that was like a movie little video that we made, is because it's one process. You got to see the whole transformation, the whole change from when it began to do its molting. That's called an instar. When it began that process to when it completed it. That was in the background while the story was playing. That's the reason, to answer your question, the reason why I use that is because it's something simple to concentrate on whilst listening to the story. That's it. I am interested to hear more of what you learnt from the story, what you remember from the story. Yes. But Kayla, tell me, what's on your mind?
What on my mind is that a bit the praying mantis, they were when you were telling the story,
yes,
when it's moving its legs, how do you do that?
You mean in the puppetry, the control of the puppet? Oh, well, those are secret puppeteering movements. I can't speak about it in a testimonial. You'll have to learn the craft of puppeteering. Then you can do it. But you know what, Kayla? I'm only joking. The real answer to this, how I control the puppets, it comes from being able to play Abit and Goma. Because we play warrior dance with these characters. So if you're able to do that with your whole body, and if you're able to use your fingers and hands in a detailed way, like we do with the hand signing, when we're hand signing the Fidel, making changes to the hands. If you're able to do these two things, then you'll be able to control the puppet in a very detailed way, in the character that you could do in your dance.
I don't know how. I see when I'm seeing praying mantis,
yeah,
they do this. They bounce on their feet.
They rock, yes.
Yeah, rock, like rocking.
Yeah, I see you rocking. Yeah.
I've seen that usually with other animals like spiders and or little insects or beetles. I've seen a lot of beetles and praying mantis. So I've seen it rocking, trying, and then it goes, and then when it comes closer in front of it, it goes rock, snap, goes, and then when it's getting its food, it eats it quickly so that in case it could jump out of its hand or anything. So it eats, just goes like that, and it eats fast.
That's right. When it eats like that, it's eating through the vital points quickly, so that the creature that is eating becomes loses its ability to leave. It's eating through the vital points. But anyway, these things, this is the nature of animal life. Animal life is like this. It might sound strange to some people to hear it, but it's just a daily living reality replayed in a billion different ways on the planet. One moment, Kayla. So you were talking about the rocking. I just want to sort of summarize on this point, then we're going to move on. But on the rocking of Abit is a very deep kind of mathematics, because when it moves from side to side, it's enabled to make triangles, and in the making of the triangles, it uses basically trigonometry. It doesn't call it trigonometry, and that's the beautiful thing, because Abit has existed before the word trigonometry. But it uses this thing that we would call trigonometry to calculate the distance of its prey. That's the rocking, is its ability to see how far the other thing is that it's looking at. Yes, Karen?
What is trigonometry? I've never heard that word before.
Trigonometry is a discipline around using triangles and knowing through the basic rules of triangles how to calculate distances and angles, measurements and other dynamics of a triangle. Like if you know, for example, that on any basic triangle the internal angles are 180 degrees, then if someone takes one of the angles out and says, I don't know what this angle is, and you know what the other two are, you can work out the third one. Trigonometry is this conversation about triangles. The tree in the trigonometry, TRI, tri, is 3, like triangle. So it's the study of triangles. Trigonometry is basically this. And if you have a triangle, those special triangles that have a right angle in it, a 90-degree angle in the triangle, then you can do some special calculations with these ones as well. Trigonometry is about this, the knowledge of this. And what I'm saying to you is that Abit uses this principle to calculate the distance between it and the prey, or it and another object. For example, in the video that you liked, you see when Abit is crossing over the leaf. It's on one leaf, there's a space, and I can imagine that there's a huge fall to go to the next, if you miss the gap. And it's trying to calculate to get to the other side, and it's making a stretch. But before it does it, it does some movements. It's trying to assess the distance between it and the leaf. Then it's making its reach, its stretch to get it. In the first movement, when it comes to the first leaf, it assesses it, and then it knows it can reach. So it stretches, hooks another one on, then hooks a third point on, and then pulls itself over, crosses over like this. On the next leaf, it looks and it assesses it, and it knows it can't stretch, so it jumps. It's a different movement. It was a decision. It was a calculation to know this is not a leaf I can stretch for. I need to jump. And obviously the reason it jumped is because it was being hunted by by the bumping money spider. Yes, Kayla.
Why does it stop at the flower praying mantis? That big.
But I could answer that question, but I'm not going to, because this conversation is about our puppet show. So that's a different thing. Anyway, back to the puppet show, or we can move on to the warrior dance. Anything else to say about the puppet show?
One more question about the puppet show.
Okay.
So
I didn't even realize I was going to be interviewed, but that's cool, Kayla. Thank you very much. Yes.
When the praying, it looks like a praying mantis real land, because what you did in the Duck and Wild party, with the story and the praying mantis puppet.
Yeah.
So you had the fake grass on the floor,
mm-hmm.
and 2 big logs
of wood. Yeah.
So you had them, and then it was in its own land, and then I saw you so the praying mantis move its leg over the log and started walking, and I found, ooh, that's a nice one. The way it moves over, it's really impressive.
Yeah, that was an interesting moment. It's interesting that you liked that, because actually there was more decoration. The one who made the puppet, she made a whole set of background. Yeah, there's more for the next show, and so simply there wasn't it wasn't opportune to put it out at this one, but there's more to lay out for that world that you saw. And when Abit went over the log, because Abit likes to keep its own space, but sometimes it gets curious, and Abit was getting curious and thinking about going out to see what was going on. out there. But time will come for that.
I thought Abit would have stepped on the log, but it made it over the log, and I was like, because it was a big log. So I was wondering, what's gonna happen? So I was just interested. I was just, what's gonna happen? So then when I saw that, my face, I was excited because it climbed over. Because
it broke the barrier. Yeah, I see.
Like crab in the barrel?
Well, maybe it escaped. I mean, Abit is the one to escape from being trapped. Yeah, it's the one to escape. It's not one to be blocked in. But interesting, Kayla. Very, very good questions. Very good reasoning. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts on the puppet show. Let us move on. So, at the Dark and Wild event, you also witnessed and experienced the Dankira Tehwagi. We had several points of playing warrior dance. And so I'm interested to hear how you found the warrior dance at the Dark and Wild event.
The warrior dance was good. Me being the crane, walking around, but I didn't know why. I was just walking like a person. But then I got to a point when I started to be a crane again. After walking, like running, I became a crane again.
I see. Yes, I noticed that because you started in character and got to a certain place in the character and then came a bit out of the character and then came back into the character. Yeah. I mean, I can tell you what happened. If you didn't hear, did you? Well, tell me what you heard when you were playing in Goma. What did you hear?
When I was playing in Goma.
Yeah, when we were playing and you were playing Wing Chi, and in that time, Wing Chi is the crane, the African crowned crane. You were playing this character, becoming Wing Chi the crane. We were playing Wing Chi in Goma, and as you said, and I am saying, you started in one way as the crane, and then you moved into something more like your person, moving about in the space, and then you moved back into the crane. And you're wondering why that happened, or?
Yeah, because I was like, oh, Stamari's gonna get me. So I was wondering. I got scared and then started running and then go back to the crane in a different position. But then when I was flapping my wings like a crane,
yeah,
I heard.
You mean as the crane?
As the crane, yeah.
Yeah.
I heard.
No. You heard the wind.
No, I heard me when I was
the wind of your wings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought, is that the wind or is that me? And then I heard I went like that. And then I heard that was me.
Well, it's good to observe your own power to create forces like that. That's good. Let me tell you what happened from my point of view. Because when you were playing, I will not name the one, but a little one that you know started to talk and was calling your name and trying to narrate your play, trying to speak about how you're going to be in the play. And I say no names because we're on the record. We're recording our testimonials, and I don't want to name anyone that way, but I'll explain it to you because you asked me, and I observed it carefully. A little one was talking your game, trying to effectively break your concentration. And so that's when you moved out of the Wing Chi into the person. And then you regained your concentration and came back into the form. And that's what happened, Kayla.
Oh.
But we'll say no names. We just have to know. You have to know. And in the way that I could know, in the moment, you can know. And beyond that, there'll be a time where it won't affect you. Where when you're playing in the space, nothing else can disturb your becoming and being.
I'm my piece.
Well, there you have it.
Being a bird.
Being
a
Wing
crane.
Chi. Wing Chi.
No, not a bird. A bird will go flap, flap, flap.
You could be, well, I mean, really, Kayla, you can become and be any creature. We're focusing on two just so you have a specific form to focus on and become competent in. But beyond that is becoming and being for anything.
The drumming.
Oh, tell us about the drumming.
The drumming was...
Oh, you enjoyed the drumming?
Yes,
Okay.
really. Because I was playing the drum with new little... I mean, they're not little. New
Tehwagi. Two new cadets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I started playing the drum, and then I started playing Hashima.
Were you showing
No,
them?
wait a minute. I didn't play Hashima. We played E.
That's right.
So then I was showing them I was showing them the drumming. Got lots of drummings.
Yeah, we did a lot of drumming.
Yeah.
And it's good when you come to a social gathering. I mean, this is part of it. It's social, it's relaxation. But obviously, people have different experience. So you are more experienced for that. So they should learn from you. You will notice that they picked it up very quickly,
I'm
right?
the boss.
But you will notice that they picked it up very quickly, right? Did you notice that?
They did it very quickly. Because when I started, I didn't know. Mm-mm.
Well, each one takes different time. That's okay.
But they knew it straight away, and my face was like, already.
Well, you see, the benefit for someone that is a new cadet or member of a cooperative is that when they enter the space, they can come immediately into something that's already set up for them to get the full benefits. And for those children who came for the first time, imagine that the first time they're seeing Abit and Abit in Goma is like this. They saw a puppet show that evolved into our full movement. That's a very special introduction. You didn't have an introduction like that. You had a good introduction, but they've had another introduction, and it's built on your abilities. The fact that you were able to be there to help set the space allows others to enter it in an easier way because you're a senior. That's how it goes. Anyway, Kayla, we need to wrap up this. We've been talking for a long time. And unless you've got other thoughts about the warrior dance, the Dankira Tehwagi, that you wanted to express. Anything else to say about the warrior dance?
Another bit to say about the warrior dance. It was really nice when I saw other people doing it.
When you say other people, do you mean like the adults?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was wondering why my grandma didn't join.
Well, I did wonder that as well. But grandma was securing the kitchen, securing food for us all. This is the situation.
Because usually she would.
No, grandma's got great skills. We know that, and we're not going to be fooled from what's behind that smile. Yeah.
She's famous.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I'm still famous because I did... Oh, that was a long time ago. And I did... I just said a little bit of words. The first one I said a lot, and this one I said only level being 9. That's all I said.
Well, it depends how you look at it. I know what you're talking about, but that is off the point for what we're talking about now. But just on the business of being famous, if you really want to be famous, Kayla, I've shown you a path that you could take, and that path is about knowing and sharing the big ideas of mathematics clearly. This is in your hand. It's part of your curricula to learn this, and you are at the front position when you've done it, because we're making a big video, a music video for it, and the whole track, the whole of that rap is going to become very famous. If you are the child that's able to explain it, or part of the children, the cadets, the cadre, the children as cadets who are able to speak clearly about the big ideas of mathematics, then you will be famous for this. And that is a good thing to be famous for. So, Kayla, it comes back again to the work. It's your choice. If you really want that, then I have outlined a very clear path for proper fame, quality fame, not silly fame. There's silly fame. Some people get famous for silly things, or things that are really embarrassing for them, but they get famous for it. They get famous for self-disrespect. This thing I'm talking to you about is fame for self-respect. That's the thing. You want to be famous because your self-respect is so clear that people have to see the video again to see what you did, or hear what you said, or meet you, or see you perform the thing you have to perform. That's self-respect. What do you have to say, Kayla?
Do you want me to sing the big idea rap? I know it all by heart.
You do?
Yep.
Well,
so that everybody can hear me.
Well, we could do that. It's not really part of this testimonial, but do you want to do that?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, well, I can only say this then. This is what I would ask you to do. If we do that, then you have to not rush and just do it in a steady way, so that you're just cool. Do it, put your vibes in it, but don't feel rushed.
I won't.
Okay.
What's a big idea? Original, begin, start from the heart, my art, true indeed. I seed, I fruit. Mathematics, matrix, institutes, patterns. 1, 2, 3. You learn naturally. Classic measure of beauty and the mundane. Look to the map, scene. Rational in proportion, be not mundane or bane. Number to infinity, all things count. Still based and bound, then more article basis must be found through equivalence and comparison of relative values. Be free to see operations, mean links of this or that, related to tenor families, properties revealed through practice operations. Add, subtract, divide, multiply, again ad infinitum. The basic facts correcting, dum-dee-dee-dum-dum. Magic, algorithmic, like hand to wrist when writing, and sometimes tragic, wrist to fist when fighting. Process, calculated intentions, get the job done. But first, estimations of better made plans, patterns, better played. To this a variable beat proportions ratio I must keep related to high functions. Reap that power, equate inequality and shape and solid form, orientate, locate and transform. Measure in space-time, consistent in forming upright nations, XYZ stations of the cross, collect data, represent ever deeper inner concentration in what may seem a mean mode, medal and distribute that coded dots of chance in the knowledge of one's certainty. Tehwagi, yes, that's me. From the heart, I be origin of all. I be my art. I be original. 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 I be my art.
Hashima Kayla. Well done.
Thank you, everybody. Brother.
Yes. You're famous. There's not much I can really say to that. So, yep, you put yourself there. So well done. And but like I said, for me personally, as fantastic as that is, you need to explain all the big ideas that you've just spoken about, and that is the level that we are working to. But well done, Kayla. Hashima.
Big idea 1. Number. The set of real numbers is infinite, and each real number can be associated in a unique point.
Okay, Hashima. Anything else to say?
1. Origin. 2. My art. 3. Mathematics. 4. Cuta. 5. 4. Cuta, which means number. Number is a tool of perception, quantifying, positioning that which is beyond 1, that which is inside of 1. 5. Look. Look means measure. Measure is a process of comparing relative size. 6. Measure. Measure is the rule of relationship.
I think you mean kaful. You mean kaful.
Kaful.
Ratio. But that is a rule of relationship.
Ratio is a rule of relationship. Parts to each other. Parts to the whole.
Yes. Okay, Kayla, it's cool. It's coming along.
Thank you. Bye.
Hashima.
Build deep and complete.
Do you know of the water of life?
What's the big idea? What's the big idea? Original again. Start from the heart. Not up, too indeed. I see, I feel. Mathematics, matrix, institutes, patterns. 1, 2, 3. You learn naturally. Classic.
Welcome to the Black Open University Show. Rebuilding education from an African place of being. Welcome to the Black Open University Show. Building education from an African place of being.
Yes. So as you see, we've cycled through the show, returning to the beginning as we do. What you've heard is a full testimonial, a body of testimonials regarding the event, the Dark and Wild gathering, in which we did our launch event. We launched a number of things at the Dark and Wild gathering, but as you see, we launched the puppet show, and that is the commentary. The commentary was about the puppet show and about the warrior dance. So we give thanks for that. This show has been a bit of a lengthy cycle of review of that, but I trust that you've seen and heard for yourself how fantastic the last Dark and Wild gathering was, and the first ever uLearn naturally steamed up puppet show. The feedback for this, very, very wonderful. We give thanks to all ones who attended. I'm going to wrap up our show and move straight into the final tune. Before I do, let me give you the salute. I think everything has been said inside of the testimonials. So everything has been said. Let me summarize by saying that our festival is starting on Friday. It's from the 6th of March through to the 15th of March. There'll be a whole range of programs happening. To find out more, check out abundancecenter.org/festival. So full details of the festival. And obviously the puppet show, well, you missed the first showing. The first is the first, so you can't do the first again. However, there will be future presentations of Abit and the Point of Origin. And as I said, this is the first show. It, for me, is the beginning. There's many, many more to come. With even more enrichments. I can see so many more things to be featured into the show. So when we have our next event, make sure you're on the contact list for this. Make sure you're either in the WhatsApp group for the radio show, BOU, #BOU radio show. That is Black Open University radio show. That is via our WhatsApp space. But you can check us at abundancecenter.org, or you can contact the office on 02088153939, or you can check me directly 07530038547, on the WhatsApp 07930501777, and on the WhatsApp you can link into the WhatsApp forum. So make sure you're on our contact list. There's numerous ways to do it. There's the YouTube, Unified Knowledge on YouTube. There's the Twitter, uLearn Naturally on Twitter, or Black Open Uni on Twitter. There's the Instagram. Come on now. Black Open University on Instagram. There's the Facebook. Numerous pages. uLearn Naturally on Facebook. Black Open University on Facebook. So you can find us, make contact, and make sure you're tuned in so you can get all the information you need. We give thanks. It's been a very special show. Thank you for your presence. And we're going to sign out with our greeting. Tehwagi Salamta. Exir Yimasagan Hashima Tehwagi Asab. Creator be praised. Respect the warrior idea.
There'll come a day. There'll come a day. There'll come a day.
Yeah, there'll come a day.
Of the moment.
Listen, this tune is so fantastic. We should have to recycle that just to make sure there's no distortion. But we love the tune so much. And that day, surely you see that through Abit and the Point of Origin, that day has come.
There'll come a day. There'll come a day. There'll come a day. when the presence of the moment will truly be all there is. It will be all that will be sought after, revealing within life's riches. There'll come a day when we will stand for truly what we believe in, honoring only the truth as we truly see it. And on this day, the rainbows of light will set us free. Deep within our souls, we'll know that only the goodness must show. And on the waves will flow into the midnight we'll go. An abyss of which we'll have no fear, because we'll always know that the Creator is here. Here in our souls, here in our hearts, here in our minds, creating within us a certain peace. A peace withstanding all the arrows of persecution, all the vies for validation. A peace we've never ever known in this lifetime, but have many, many, many lifetimes before. Open the door. Open the door to your heart. Release the anger. Release the tension. Release the shame, blame. Release the fear. As you know, the Creator is here in abundance for you, so that you may serve another too. Honor that which you hold near and dear. For that is the only reason you are here. Yes, there'll come a day when all the pain and sorrow will wash away, and on the waves of love you see, that's where we'll be, you and me. You and me.